Mic check. Yo, 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 what's good, man? It's your boy Talents A60.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
It has been well over a month. Well, no, 2 months, really. I did put out a few episodes while I was gone for the big move, so people weren't too. They didn't miss us too much.
Long ass vacation, man.
Yeah, man, I was out of the country for 2 months, and luckily we
Very
pre-recorded some. No, never that. We pre-recorded a couple of shows, put them out there to kind of satiate the timeline, and then yeah, we're back. And boy, has a lot happened in the last 2 months. Well, welcome everybody to the Drunken Idiots. We are back.
Welcome. We are back, and we coming in hot, man. Cause guess what? You see this right here?
Yeah.
This is an Xbox.
That's pretty good. I'm guessing you're showing us another
This right here?
Yeah. Yep. Is that an Xbox?
That's also an Xbox.
That's also an Xbox. It is. And what about that TV up there?
Oh yeah, it's a smart one. So it's also
So that's an Xbox. So yeah, so basically, if you guys have been living under a rock and you haven't been watching our channel, Microsoft is abandoning the console space, and they're telling it to you to your damn face.
They would.
They're telling it to you to your face.
They said it was only going to be 4 games. They said it's been a year. Hasn't even been a year. They said
hasn't even been a year.
It's going to be 4 games. Is it Indiana Jones?
No.
Said,
no.
3 months
well,
later.
That's what that's what you thought. I believe he actually didn't know. I believe Phil Spencer didn't know, and Microsoft came in and was like, "You thought, you thought," and now it's.
The CFO was saying
he was screaming
everywhere.
He was screaming. I'm looking at the financial gains. They've got nothing in the game. You know what I'm saying? They don't have anything to lose. They're so lucky in a way, man. If you really want to break this down, they're so lucky because they have their dedicated hardcore Xbox fanboys who will buy no matter what. They're gonna buy an Xbox and claim, oh well, it's my machine, even though the games are available freaking everywhere. I've got a freaking Nintendo Switch, the most underpowered console of this generation, and it's got Xbox games on it.
Yo, but they're man, I think they're stupid to continue buying their consoles.
But that's what happens when you're a fanboy.
It's stupid fanboys, man.
Listen, that's what happens when you're a fanboy. Let me tell you, if they would have came out with a Dreamcast 2 and would have time delayed all of their exclusives for a year, I think I would have bought a Dreamcast 2. If I would have been like, oh, all these games are coming out on Dreamcast first for a year, and then later they'll be on Xbox and GameCube and PS2, I would have been a sucker. Because I really loved my Dreamcast. And I'm guessing that's the psychology of the console wars, though, and I think we're in the last bit of that. We're in the last generation of true console wars. I'm not sure if you got a chance to take a look at the other videos that I published with the death of the Xbox. A lot of people in the comments were crying about my point of view on that, but Microsoft also showed off like a mini PC that's entirely cloud-based. It's called the 365 Link, and it looks like a Mac Mini. It's just like it looks like a streaming box, like an Android box.
Yeah.
And it's cloud-based. All the Windows, Outlook, Excel, Word, all of that crap on the cloud. It has very.
You won't even own it.
You will never own it. You pay for a subscription. Yep, you pay for a subscription for a year. That's your year's up, and then this thing is basically just a streaming box. Now
You're welcome. That's what signing up for Game Pass does.
And Netflix.
All of this.
And Netflix. We killed Blockbuster. We killed Best Buy's DVD section. We're killing Walmart's DVD section. Netflix did that. Redbox is dead. You know, because we're lazy creatures. We're lazy creatures, and all you Xbox fanboys out there, you are too. You are part of the problem.
Yeah, instead of buying games, you want to go
Yeah,
and pay.
and
What is it now? It's
you're
$80
getting
a
Game
month.
Pass. You're preferring digital over physical. I mean, we're guilty of that too. But to rub the salt in a little
I ain't
deeper,
guilty of shit.
during the Video Game Awards,
Yeah,
Microsoft,
nothing. See that? Physical, right
yeah,
there.
all right, sure. I've got like 4 physical games too, and then my Switch is full of. I've got about 32 Blu-rays. I will say that 30 to 50 Blu-rays right sitting in front of me there. But and then when I didn't have internet on my move, you best believe I was watching disc-based movies. But anyway,
Inflation is high. Inflation is
yeah,
crazy. The economy ain't
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So
so you gotta buy it. You gotta buy it when it's on sale. And
yeah,
you know,
it's yeah, absolutely. Nothing beats physical, but the convenience of digital is there, and we are guilty of it. Xbox fanboys, Xbox Game Pass fanboys, especially. I'm one of the people that I haven't bought an Xbox since the 360. I didn't buy an Xbox One. I didn't buy the new Series Xboxes, but I subscribed to Game Pass. I did, and
for
so
how many months?
until I beat Starfield. Till I beat Starfield. Once I beat Starfield, I let it
You're
lapse.
one of the smart ones who pause, no Diddy, hopped on and then hopped off.
Yeah. I went for my exclusive game, the game that I wanted to play, and so I think I beat it in 2 months. So I paid under for PC Game Pass. I don't know what it was, $12.99. So I paid $24 for Starfield experience versus $60 for the game.
So this dude I work with, right? He got an Xbox One. He has Game Pass. He only plays COD.
Oh wow.
And now we talking. He's like, "Yo, I'm thinking about just buying the game
Yeah. If you're
because
only playing one game,
He said all I need is online,
yeah,
and then just the game. And he was like, "Yo, it'll save me more money in a year compared to how I'm playing it now." And I was like,
absolutely.
"Bro, like you should have been did that. Like you getting
Yeah,
over."
if you're just if you got a dedicated Call of Duty machine, it doesn't make sense. Um, let's say you don't have an Xbox though, or you don't have a PlayStation, and you do have some sort of a streaming device, then sure, sure, Game Pass. Okay, why not? Then you can play Call of Duty all you want. You don't have to buy a dedicated console. You don't have to spend the whatever the hell a Xbox costs. I don't even know what it costs. $400, $500. The point of the story is during the Video Game Awards,
Xbox
Xbox
fans
doubled
lost.
down. They doubled down, and they ran a new "This is an Xbox" ad. So they back to back Xbox. This is an Xbox. Everything's an Xbox. Your phone's an Xbox. And if you think that everything is an Xbox, then guess what? Nothing is an Xbox. So I know we want to crap on. I know you've been waiting to crap on the Xbox for a while. With that said, during the Video Game Awards, Sony did announce that Last of Us 2 is also making its way over to PC. So
As
now
expected.
so that shows me, yeah, as expected, exactly. So these are things that we, and here's the thing: is like the hardcore Sony fanboys don't want to admit this, is that Sony's slowly doing what Microsoft did 5 years ago, which was putting all their crap on PC first and testing those waters. And if the sales are there and the digital market is there, we're abandoning physical little by little. We're just letting go of physical. I
Yeah.
think the next step is all digital boxes, and then after that, we're going streaming.
Yeah, I agree. I think this next generation, the PS6,
We're gonna get a big digital box with like 10 terabytes of internal memory.
yeah, I think after the PS6, I'll
Yeah.
probably be on PC by then.
I hope you're during that generation.
Yeah, maybe during.
Yeah.
It depends on how soon they are releasing games on PC. Like,
Right.
and that's it. Don't matter if it's Xbox either. If they're saying if the next Halo is going to drop right, day and date on PC,
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, I get a PC. But if
Yeah,
Sony
if
is
it's
also
if it's
doing
a
that,
day one, like day one Game Pass.
yeah. But if Sony is also not saying they're gonna do a Game Pass, but
Yeah,
if
but they will
Sony,
eventually. They will eventually. They're not going to miss out on that. They're not going to miss out on that market.
I mean, from what I was told, I heard the Sony infrastructure with their game streaming is better than what Xbox is doing.
Well, that'd be, that makes sense. They're probably pumping millions of dollars into that. You know what I mean? I mean, with that quiet drop for the, even though the PS Portal always had the ability to do cloud gaming, the fact that they activated it,
I called
you
that
did.
one too.
You did.
I called that one too.
You did.
And I said it from the jump because the code name was like Q Light or some shit like that.
Yep, the Q Light.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I said, I feel like they just kind of testing the water to see what this is going to do. And all they got to do is drop an update, and then you can play your games without the PS5 or whatever.
You don't even need a PS5. All you need is a PSN account.
Yeah. And then now,
so like, I have a PSN account right now. I don't have a PS5.
Yeah.
So if I bought a Portal, I can go play I could play the games I bought on my PSN network that I've got saved in there. Yeah, I mean that's dope.
So what's next with the Portal 2? It's going to be Portal something, and it's going to be. And
that's the rumor, is that they're working on a PlayStation Vita, a follow up. Yeah. That there's a new handheld coming out, and it's going to be along the line of the Lenovo and the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck.
I see it. I called it, bro. I called it. Thank you for giving me my and I said it on this.
When you're right, you're right. Podcast. Yeah, and the videos are there.
I might have been drunk as fuck.
We were drunk.
Listen, I had some type of sense to still get those words out, even while inebriated, to get that message across. Sony know what the fuck they doing. They was testing the water.
Now, you can be excited about it, but it's also just the beginning of the end for their consoles. Because they're going to be like, okay, this is popular enough. Even though the PS Portal didn't sell to what they wanted, they got enough units out there to beta test their cloud gaming. There's enough units. There's millions of them out there.
But I already said it was going to sell in Japan. It was a Japan thing.
Yeah, that's definitely Japan loves its portables for sure.
UK,
and they just can't let go that Nintendo is the king of portables. They've been going after Nintendo, PlayStation, the PSP, the PS Vita, and those two things, didn't beat the DS and the 3DS. So they got to go after that market. There's money to be made there.
Well, clearly, Cyclone. What he got?
Steam Deck. He got everything. Steam Deck? Yeah, he got the OLED now.
He on the OLED. Did he get the ASOG? Whatever the fuck.
I don't think he got that. He didn't get the ROG Ally. But he's got his Steam Deck. But speaking of Steam Deck, so years ago, Valve put out the Steam Machine, which was a mini PC that was dedicated to just run Steam games.
So a console.
Yes, but it was still a mini PC because it ran Linux. So it had an operating system like Windows. So it's not a console. But not. It could still do way more at the time, especially when they dropped it. But the Steam Deck has done so well for them that they're
flirting with the idea.
They're flirting with a Steam Machine 2. So this would be a third attempt or a second and a half attempt for them to enter that console space with another Steam Machine. What do you think about that? Do you think that's going to be successful?
All the PC motherfuckers are going to
We were saying we needed another player.
All the PC fucking super retards are going to buy it. All the Xbox fanboys are going to slide over there, and it's going to be
if it runs Game Pass, it'd be awesome.
It's going to be part 2.
If it runs Game Pass, it'd be awesome.
And if Microsoft was smart,
they put it on there.
It'd come pre-baked.
It'll come on there. Yeah. It'll be just an app on there. But knowing Valve is probably gonna curtail that and put their Steam on the forefront, which of course makes sense for them because that's where they're making their money. I think it's gonna be an epic failure. Right. I think it'll be a flop. So even though Steam has its dedicated fans and all that great stuff, I think that their handheld is a good idea for them because it brings the portability aspect of taking like a PC, game with you, even though the battery life is absolute shit on those things. But I feel they're trying to enter the living room space, right? But people who play Steam at home are PC gamers, and they're probably they're not playing it on their big screen. They're playing it on their high refresh rate monitor. And if that's the case, I'm already home. I'm probably going to play it on my PC where I'm going to get the best performance. I don't think the average person out there is going to buy a Steam machine and stick it under their TV.
Okay. And I think both things can be true. Mm-hmm. One is what you just said, what you just mentioned. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think they're trying to capture some Xbox without a home. And
if Microsoft does what I think they're gonna do in the next 10 years, I think Steam Machine would have a real good. If it comes out, let's say 6 years from now, and we're ending the last phase of the next generation Xbox and the next generation. Notice what I said: the last generation Xbox and the next generation PlayStation, because that's what I think is going to be happening. Then Steam has a market, because there is room for 3. But as we've seen with Sega and Atari and TurboGrafx, there's not room for 4. Neo Geo, there's no room for 4.
You think there's going to be an Xbox handheld and an Xbox console?
Yes. And I'll say this, and I'll say why. It'll just be clones. Like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck aren't that... Yes, everybody's going to chew me on the comments if you guys have either one. They're not drastically different, though. They do the same basic function. Like, you can buy a ROG Ally and play Steam games on them. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't differentiate too much between those two devices. They're similar. So, if Xbox drops a handheld of dedicated hardware with, like... They've already got the tablets, the Surface, the Windows Pro Surface, And those are really popular and powerful, and they run games. If they drop that architecture with a little bit more souped up, they use that. They've already got the base for it. So sure, there is a spot for an Xbox handheld, but it'll be a glorified streaming. Again, it's gonna be a Game Pass, but it's gonna be a Game Pass thing.
Okay.
It'll be what you said. You know how you said the Steam Deck should come baked in with Xbox Game Pass? It'll be a Steam Deck with baked in Xbox Game Pass.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense.
All right. So here's what I think. If Xbox dropped a handheld console, right? I think they have a shot. A shot at being first? No.
No. They've never been first.
Shot at being second? Maybe, right?
Because there's 2 players in the game?
So now here's So
I mean, let's be real. Is Steam really a competitor to the Switch? It's not even close.
But here's what I was thinking. At first, I was thinking like, all right, boom. The Xbox handheld could potentially be something great, right?
Yeah.
But what you just mentioned, now I'm thinking like, damn, it would be just a soulless handheld.
Well, you're gonna go hard for the Xbox. The Xbox fanboys are gonna eat you up.
No, but
let's be real. When the first Xbox came out, I felt the word that you used. I actually used it for the OG Xbox. When it came out, I said this thing feels soulless. It felt like just this box. It didn't feel like it had gaming passion behind it. It was like they put this out there to eat up Sega's market.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like to me.
It'd be soulless. It would be.
I'm not gonna disagree. It'll be like the ROG Ally. Nobody gives a shit about it.
Compare. It'll be like so if PlayStation make a new handheld.
Yes.
and you put it next to the Xbox handheld, who's gonna have the better design?
Listen, they're
you know who's gonna have the better design.
It's no, the Xbox thing. I when I think of an Xbox handheld, I don't think about a cool looking device. I think about the Steam Deck, which is not a cool looking device.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck looks like a giant Sega Game Gear.
Yeah.
With sticks.
If
the Steam Deck's not cool, it's just it works.
Nintendo will make something cool,
yeah,
and functional,
yeah,
and then Sony will make it adult, or
Nintendo will make something cool, family oriented, and fun to play games. Fun is what they make.
Yeah,
they make fun consoles, and Sony takes those ideas and tries to make them look cool. The PS5 looks fucking cool. The Xbox Series looks like a refrigerator. The Xbox OG Xbox, when they first showed off the original OG Xbox, it was like a X shape, like a real X shape with like a disc tray that popped up the middle. It looked freaking cool. And then they brought out the actual system, and it was just a big black box with the etched up X on the top. Not cool anymore. The 360 looked cool. The black 360 looked cool.
Yeah, the 360 was cool.
The 360 redesign was cool. The smaller one, the slim. Yeah,
cool.
Those were cool. Those were cool. And then the Xbox One was just, it was made to look like a VCR.
I like the fat PS3, the OG, the glossy.
Oh, the George Foreman grill.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
One looked,
I didn't like the slim. I didn't like the slim PS3.
Yeah, it looked like it cost $600.
It fucking did, and I paid it. So I remember being one of the ones that hated on the price, but then they announced that the 60 gig version was going to go away. The PS1 that played PS1, PS2, PS3 because it had actual guts from those consoles in it, and I was like, motherfucker! I saved up and I went straight to the store. I need to have that OG 60 gig PS3. Now. VGAs happened. We touched upon it lightly. The big winner this year was Astrobot. We talked also when Astrobot first came out on this podcast. We mentioned how there was rumblings that it might be Game of the Year. We kind of just, and neither one of us had played it at that time. But it was like, hey, this thing is picking up some steam. Like,
it got a lot of good
reviews. Be Sony's mascot, and it has been. But now they have to double down because. Well, Nintendo has Mario.
They mentioned doubling down after the Mario movie success.
Yes, yeah, because there is so much money to be made there.
The board and all that, they were talking about it. They mentioned it, and it was like, Nintendo
I could see a Pixar version of Astrobot for sure.
It was like Nintendo got the luxury of having a long history with with Mario and creating that, and then it was like we gotta
do that.
Yeah.
They've got franchises that they can do. Unfortunately for Sony, is that they've always done second party and third party mascots.
Yeah.
That kind of like, okay, you can say Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Crash Bandicoot, but those characters belong to Naughty Dog. So unless Sony's gonna come in there and just buy 100% of Naughty Dog,
I think they
own 100%. I don't think they own 100. I know they're a second party.
Okay,
I know they're second party. I'm Jason, fact check me.
I think they own Naughty Dog.
They might. But but for example, Crash Bandicoot was a Naughty Dog game at the beginning, but Vivendi owned it. And it was like, here's your mascot for your PS1, and then all of a sudden now they don't have a mascot. But now with Astrobot,
either way, they put money behind Astrobot.
And it showed. And for all you losers out there that said motion controls are dead and nobody uses motion controls, two things. I got into an argument on TikTok with a guy over motion controls. I said ever since the Wii came out, motion controls have stuck around, and it's been 20 years. And then he said, no current games use it. Well, the Game of the Year uses motion controls heavily.
Yeah.
Heavily. And then I dug a little deeper. And by the way, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has gyro controls built in.
Yeah, with
you can turn it on and you can turn it off. You can aim with your gyro controls. I'm not a fan of gyro controls. I'm not saying that I'm a huge fan of this, but it's there.
I played the first Astrobot, and I played it with my son, and
you got to launch when it came baked in with the PS5. Yeah, it shows you how to use your PS5.
Yeah, you got to do all types of stuff, and it's fun.
It's a fun game. Yeah, and so this took it a step forward. The developers, after they won Game of the Year, they went on stage and he thanked, of course, Sony and his team. But then he thanked Nintendo. He didn't say Nintendo. He said, but in 1989, when I was a kid, he said, I bought a little gray box. And in that little gray box, there was a game called Super Mario. Yep. And he goes, and without that game, without that company, there wouldn't be Astrobot. And it was like, you know what? Sony maybe they weren't, because they're celebrating their 30th year, maybe they didn't want you to say the word Nintendo. But that was such a cool tip of the hat between, the respect between developers. And that was cool to me. And so that developer gained a lot of respect to me. And that's Sony Computer Entertainment Software, like their internal team. So, it's good that they're taking aspirations and inspirations from other companies. And that's what made that game so freaking great. They were looking at Mario Odyssey and Galaxy and all those other great 3D platformers like Ratchet and Clank. And they made Astrobot Game of the Year. And it deserved it. The most anticipated Game of the Year. What do you think?
Elden Ring didn't win the DLC.
No, yeah, that was the idea. Anything but Elden Ring. Anything but Elden Ring at this point. Yeah, but most anticipated Game of the Year, what do you think got that prize?
Oh, GTA.
Yeah, GTA 6. And, GTA 6, for crying out loud, guys. Like, you still haven't dropped that game. GTA 6 latest trailer looked okay to me because it's going to be set in Vice City. I'm hyped for that. But I'm not even like, when is the game going to come out? They say 2025, but do you think it's going to come out in 2025?
They said fall 2025.
Yeah, I think it'll get delayed again.
I
see it in Christmas time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I see it in December for Christmas. And it's going to be ridiculous. The sales are going to be ridiculous. It's going to break all sorts of records.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Speaking of next year, the Switch 2. Did we already cover that? Switch 2?
No.
Switch 2. On my channel. You can go watch a video right now, guys. Switch 2 got revealed. Literally got revealed. So, D-Brand is a manufacturer that makes cases for the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, and yes, the Switch. Now, last year, when I think it was a year, when did Breath of the Wild 2 come out? 2 years ago? Breath of the Wild 2? Yeah. 2 or 3 years ago, whenever that came out. I know Echoes of Wisdom came out this year. So last year, Breath of the Wild 2 came out. And they released these decals for your Switch that basically were Breath of the Wild 2, all of the cool, patterns, the Triforce, the whole nine, right? But they were slightly different. And Nintendo reached out to them and said, hey, that's too close to the real design. And they tweeted on X, go fuck yourselves, to Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did not give a shit. And so they followed up now this year with a 3D render, and it's going to be playing right here in the middle of the video. If you haven't watched the video right now, there's an in-depth of the measurements, the whole nine. Go check it out. Switch 2 got revealed. It's on the channel. And they revealed the case that's going to come for the Switch. But D-Brand's cases aren't like a zip-up case. They are a shell that go over the Switch. So what did they do? They 3D rendered what the Switch 2 is going to look like. They put it inside of their case. They spun that bitch around, and now you got a real 3D look of what the next Switch looks like. And if you think, oh, well, that's just speculation, Insider Gaming reached out to the CEO, and he said, oh, no, yeah, that's full 3D rendered of what the Switch looks like. That's the specs. You want to know the full specs? Here they are. And he said it's an 8-inch screen. He doesn't know if it's going to be LCD or OLED. I'm gonna say it's LCD because they're gonna cost cut.
It's gonna be They're gonna
it's
bring
gonna be a
that out
1080p. Yeah.
after
They're gonna do
5
OLED
years.
later.
After 5 years, it'll be an OLED.
There'll be an OLED version for $100 more. But at launch, it's gonna be LCD. But he doesn't know like the guts of the system. But as far as what it looks like a bigger Switch. What was cool about the 3D render, if you're looking at it right now or you just saw it, was the triggers are completely different from what the Joy-Con triggers look like now on the standard Switch, which are just basically small little buttons. The new Joy-Con looks like it has these elongated buttons on the back. And months ago, there was a leak saying that there was going to be some kind of a gimmick with those buttons. And we don't know exactly what those gimmicks are, whether they were going to be rotary like a mouse wheel. You know how you scroll with a mouse wheel?
Yeah.
So that might be the gimmick. But then another person who had insider hands-on time with the Switch 2 said that it has a gimmick on the top of the Joy-Cons, similar to how this has the IR sensor. And they asked him what was it, and he said, think lasers. So that could be anything. I mean, we've got an infrared sensor at the bottom of the Joy-Con that we rarely use. Only Nintendo used this like 4 or 5 times on the bottom of the Joy-Con for certain Switch games, because there's a camera on the bottom of this thing. But he said think lasers for the new controllers, and that really got me intrigued. Switch 2 revealed. There's no, I mean, at this point it's just up to Nintendo in the next 2 weeks to show it off after Christmas and say it's coming out in March or April. And then and then finally for the Switch 2 is what do you think the gimmick is going to be, man? I don't know. Obviously it's more powerful.
I mean, it's going to be more powerful. Do you think it's going to be backwards compatible?
Yeah. That was another thing that the guy mentioned. The cartridge slots are exactly the same size as a Switch 1. So cool. Probably a new format for Switch 2, obviously, that the system will recognize, like the Switch 2 game, but it'll be backwards compatible. It runs the original OS, which means that even though the menu will look different, it'll be updated. The background, the operating system, is the Switch operating system, which makes sense how they went after all these emulators.
As long as they don't do an Xbox and keep the same background.
Yeah, they're gonna reformat the background, but that's why they've been going after all these emulators, because they're scared, because eventually somebody's gonna crack this bitch, right? They're gonna crack it, especially if it's running on the OG Switch, software. So that means that probably the OS has some kind of a flaw that they can exploit. That's how they're gonna do it. And if they crack it within a year, that's big problems for the Switch too. Because that's what happened to the Dreamcast. And and the Dreamcast had a piracy problem.
Okay. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Hopefully they drop something. What January?
So there should be a January Direct, and in that January Direct, what they expect is, we're gonna round up what's left for the OG Switch, right?
Yep.
And it's gonna be, here's what's coming out for the Switch the rest of this year, and then at the end of that is one more thing, and we're gonna show off the Switch 2. Oh, another thing is that this guy claims that it's going to be called the Nintendo Switch 2, and that it's just the Switch logo with the number 2 on the side. That they're going to stick with that to avoid confusion, so that people know that it is a Switch and it's the new one.
I mean, that'll be a first for Nintendo.
Very first time they've ever done it. So
when I see it.
That one I took with a huge grain of salt too. My bet on it was the new Nintendo Switch, because they did the new Super Mario Brothers, they did the new 3DS, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did the new Nintendo Switch. But they love sticking new in front of their consoles and their new franchises.
At the same time, if they trying to get that money, and they just say, "Yo, don't do the Wii U, Don't overthink.
We can't confuse people. We can't confuse people this time.
Switch to and walk away. Then it's
Switch,
like
it's the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, it's possible.
The nostalgia boy in me was like, "Yo, please call it the Super Nintendo Switch." That was the nostalgia boy in me. Oh my god, we got a new Super Nintendo.
Super Switch. Nah,
yeah, Super Nintendo Switch. The new one's called the Nintendo Switch. The Super Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Call it, if they do call it Switch 2, then
it's gonna be the Switch 2.
Then just switch to it and mic drop and it's
so simple and effective, and and they can come up with a new crazy name for their next console unless they stick with this hybrid, because there was a blip in the radar this summer about them working on a separate handheld, and that Nintendo was working on a separate handheld, and I was like, that doesn't make sense for them to do that again.
No.
Because they consolidated all of their developers to work on Switch, which made them pump out so many good first party quality titles. They didn't have to split their games between 3DS and Wii U. It was like, now we've got all of our developers working on Switch.
Maybe handheld is the future.
It might be. Maybe, hey, the Steam connects to your TV. The Steam Deck, it connects to your TV. You can use it right on your TV if you want. So, docking is not a problem. Maybe that hybrid portable is the future. Now, we should be wrapping up for this.
Play.
Huh?
And how you play hybrid portable. How you play
it.
Might be.
And a hybrid portable is probably what will save physical media, unless it comes with some crazy big hard drive, some crazy big amount of memory where you can download digital titles onto it. But with that comes, depleted battery life. It'll suck the battery life out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, but physical cartridges, that might save physical media for the next decade until they figure it out, because not everywhere has Wi-Fi. Not everywhere you can cloud game.
Yeah. No, that's
and
true.
So with the Switch, you just pop a cartridge in and you're good to go. And even though you can get, like I said, a really big SD card, there's limits to the space. Right now you can get, a 2 terabyte SD card? That's crazy. 2 terabyte mini SD card. I remember when a gig was a lot, bro. I used to get a 512 megabyte one. That was a lot.
And they cheap now.
Mm-hmm. You can get a 2 terabyte for like $100. Mini SD. They're cheap. Anyway, that's it for this edition. We should definitely record a little bit about that Jay-Z scandal that's going on, but that's not for the gaming podcast.
Yeah, that's
for the echo chamber, maybe.
But it's already too late, man. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
She went on NBC and she told her story, and NBC found inconsistencies. NBC questioned and spoke to her father, and the father says she doesn't remember picking her up.
Oh, well.
And he said,
let's save that conversation, because we gotta talk about that.
He said that would be a 5-hour drive.
There's plot holes.
And it'd be a 5-hour drive for me to pick her up. So I think I would have remembered that.
Well,
he doesn't remember.
We will see what happens with that. Anyway, we probably will be talking about that. Guys, we haven't done an Echo Chambers episode in a long time. We understand that. The channel has been pretty much dead. But I've been uploading stuff over at Rumble, so please still follow Starflag Media at Rumble. We've got a few channels out there, and we got the Echo Chamber podcast as well. As always, want to thank you guys for joining us. And we're back, baby. We got this. We got it virtual, but we're still here. So we're going to catch us with our Drunken Idiots podcast, and I'll still be uploading videos when I get news. And let us know what you guys think about this Nintendo Switch 2 news. What do you guys think about Xbox going away? It's going away, guys. And PlayStation being about 5 years behind them with their all digital future. And did you guys pick up Astrobot? I haven't picked it up, but hey, game of the year, man. Astrobot. Good looking out to Sony for killing it this year. And yeah, catch you guys next time on the next episode of the Drunken Idiots.
PlayStation has no games, but they dropped Game of the Year this year. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
crazy how that works.
I know we should just sign off now, guys, but I forgot to mention one thing. Speaking of Naughty Dog, Intergalactic. Did you see the trailer to that?
No, I didn't see that.
Go check out Intergalactic. That's probably next year's Game of the Year. Okay. And yeah, go check that out. All right. Catch you guys next time.